Wow, we just driving through a view. Good God. Imagine living here. I don't know what you do for a job, but far out, waking up to that. It's pretty stunning. Okay, so I've just landed in Oslo, Norway, but we're bypassing Oslo. I'm not here to see cities. I'm here to see nature. I mean, that's what I hear Norway is all about. So we're bypassing Oslo and we're heading straight up to the fjords. I've landed in the middle of the day though, and because I've landed in the middle of the day, my timing's not that great. It's Saturday and on Sunday nothing's open. So this journey north is going to be about scenery, but it's also going to be a lot about food. I know that they've got a place called Kiwi here, which sounds pretty damn good to me. So we'll swing into the first Kiwi we see and pick up some emergency Airbnb feast food. Whatever they've got, I'm gonna cook. And then you'll see the Airbnb that I've actually got. We're talking cabin material. So either way, the struggle will be real. Oh, here's a Kiwi now. Just come in here for my emergency shop, and I'm just collecting a few items just to make sure that I can actually feast during Airbnb feast. That's white asparagus, I've never had that one before. So, got my emergency ingredients, and I think that should do me. I'll go through them when we get to the place, but it's looking pretty good. Alright, so that was the Kiwi. Here's my little receipt here, and it's actually not as big as I thought it was going to be. 41 pounds, with the most amount of salmon I've ever seen in one tray for around about 8 pounds, which is unbelievably cheap, and it's all locally sourced salmon, so I'm pretty damn happy. Also got some beetroot, some cabbage, and to be honest, I brought over a little bit of stock, but that stock is also Norwegian, so no problem whatsoever. Should be fun. All right. So you know when people get those like really tricky shots of like perfectly still water, and the absolute perfection of that mirror shot, that's actually happening here. Came around the corner and saw that. It's incredible. Oh my God. Can't handle the altitude. I'm running low on oxygen. So, after a 4.8 kilometer trek up a mountain in a car that's probably not designed to do it, I'm really glad we got an upgrade, by the way. Holy shit. That would have been an absolute disaster going up in a Volkswagen up. But all the way up the mountain for this. That one's mine. We're way up. We've got a big bottle of propane gas, because butane's a bastard gas. Outdoor water supply. We've got this spectacular view. It's absolutely incredible. We've got a bit of the, today, slightly moody Norwegian weather. It's just a couple of little patches of rain. lunch. Another gas lamp. I'll get this place lit up and I'll give you a proper introduction, but at the moment, this is by far the most unique one we've been to. There we go. I don't suspect it'll be completely dark for quite a while because we're quite a way up the country. Well, it's the furthest north on this planet that I've ever been. But for now, what we're going to be doing is kitchen by candlelight. Ready for a demo. Okay, so what we're dealing with here is actually something pretty complete for what essentially amounts to a cabin. We've got pots, we've got a fairly premium non-stick frying pan, we've got more pots, we've got mixing bowls, and we've even got a grater. This pot selection is pretty bloody impressive for what we're dealing with right here. So paint me stoked. Moving on to our main appliance here, we've got our lovely stove. Now this stove's got 4 burners and they all work. I had to get them lit using a piece of pasta and the remnants from one of 4 of these lighters. There's barely anything left, but I got enough candles lit, the lantern lit, to make sure that this gets lit too. We've also got a whole lot of tools as well. We've got whisks, we've got spatulas, we've got ladles, we've got slotted spoons. This is gonna be great. Less of a challenge than I thought, which I'm kind of relieved about. All right, so now we're gonna go check out what kind of food I'm gonna be sorting out tonight. All right, so this is everything I got, and it's all from one shop. It's called Kiwi, and they're everywhere. Usually I avoid supermarkets, and I haven't been to one in this series since probably Vietnam. But this time it's all worked out pretty damn nicely. They've actually got quite a substantial selection of things, and they all seem to be quite geared towards what locals eat, as you'd expect. But for me, wow, that's pretty damn cool. We've got lovely, delicious, and quite a lot of Norwegian salmon, or laks. So with this is going to be roasted. Back of the packet says about 200 degrees Celsius, and that's going to be going in with a little bit of sour cream and some dill. It's going to be roasting together, and I think it should be pretty delicious. That with a bit of salt and pepper to accent the flavours of the dill, and obviously the salmon. Cabbage seem to be pretty much one of the staple vegetables in every Kiwi. I'm going to be having a boiled cabbage, beetroot, onion, a bit of potato. I'm going to make that into a soup. We're going to also have boiled eggs in our soup. You know, this is going to be a pretty hearty meal. And I feel like I'm almost being railroaded into cooking like this. It's not usually how I do things. I usually try to scale things back, but the big twist of this is going to be juniper. That's fairly normal, also known as innerbeer. I'm not sure how to say that one. And then licorice. So I have these little bars. I've got sea salt flavour. I'm not actually sure if it's actually salty. I suppose I should try one. It was all they had, but I think if I can, give this soup a bit of depth using one of these, we're in for something quite interesting. It could have fallen flat on its ass as well, but oh, that salty kick is delicious. So it's got the sweetness in it to mirror this, and it's got the dill in it. Not the dill, the aniseed flavour, which I expect to work in quite nicely with what I'm doing over here. Hopefully giving us a bit of balance. And then finally decorating it all with what I believe to be Norwegian goat's cheese. I can't honestly tell, but it's called snow frisk, so it's got to be good. Yeah, it'll do well. It'll do well. All right, wish me luck. I've chopped my cabbage, chopped my onions. I've also got some juniper, and I've got a little bit of butter. All of that is going to go into this pot right here, and it's going to get caramelized. So that's caramelizing nicely. Now I'm going to move over and get onto the beetroot. I'm going to give the beetroot a bit of a peel, as well as some potatoes. And then once those are, well, the potatoes are going to get a dice, those are going to go in skin on, chopped and skin on. So we're almost making a stew here. So we'll use about 4 potatoes, maybe 5. Toss those in the corner. 1 beetroot, cabbage and onion are in there. And then once those are all starting to caramelize in the pan along with these guys, we're going to put in some hot stock. We're going to use a bit of Carlo stock, and that's going to have mushroom and French onion stock, 2 cubes, 1 each. And that's all going to go into the pot and reduce the heat. We're going to slowly cook it and then get onto the salmon. As you saw, I just went and got my water. The veggies have been caramelizing for a decent amount of time, and that water, fresh, straight from the mountains, is going in. That's calmed everything down a bit. Gonna fill it nearly to the brim. We're gonna save a little bit of water just in case we need to cook it a bit longer, cook it down a bit further. So, get a bit of light on that. That's what we're left with. Got a few of these licorice bars. We're going to start off with 2 of these kick licorice bars, and those are going to go into our hearty, soupy brew here. And I'm expecting them to dissolve all the way through and just give us a nice gentle aniseed flavour. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm making an in-roast marinade. So I've got the oven at 200 degrees and I expect most of this cream to melt away. But hopefully the sourness will really work itself into the fish, and the dill should just sort of slowly piggyback its way in there as well. We're aiming for a flaky sort of texture, quite tender, and there's going to be plenty of sort of sauce to deal with. So it's going to go in there for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I think we should end up with a nice, relatively deep flavour. Alrighty, it is time to plate. We're finally here. Got a nice, rich soup. Get a nice ladle full of that soup. We've got the salmon. Salmon's come up really nicely. It's tender, like that. And then finally, I'm going to nestle in a couple of eggs. Look at that. Alright, so here we are. We've got that beautiful yolk has come in. It's just like just setting. And the egg around it set just nicely as well. Got a bit of goat's cheese sitting on top there that's got a nice tanginess to it. And I'm expecting we've got various degrees of aniseed flavour coming through with that licorice that I put in the soup, and the dill that's sitting across the salmon. So we'll give it a go and we'll see how it tastes. You can see that salmon there's got a nice flake to it. Creamy. That salmon is really, really distinct. We've got a nice burst of aniseed coming through. Capped off with the extra sauciness of that egg yolk. It's smooth, it's delicious. So the only thing I forgot was a bit of lemon. A bit of lemon to squeeze over top would have given it just an extra kick. And say that this is a success. I'm not sure whether it's Norwegian or not. Definitely some distinct Norwegian ingredients there. And I would say that it did lend itself, the ingredients I bought did lend themselves to something like this, as did the location and the weather.
Tan tararararara, taran, tan tarararararan, taran, tan tarararararan, taran, tan tarararararan, taran, tan tararararara, taran, tan tarararararan, taran, tan tarararararan, taran, tan tarararararan, taran. Tan tararararara, taran, tan tarararararan, taran, tan tarararararan, taran.
So my methodology on this trip was just to get on with it. No fuss. Let flavours and quality all speak for itself. Salmon, licorice, dill, sour cream. At this point, I've seen all those ingredients before, but also we were able to start sort of like tracking the way flavours have sort of almost spread throughout Europe. Like dill seems to be a really common one, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and you can see why. It absolutely works, and it delivers a huge hit of flavour. Absolutely massive. So getting on with it, so you've got more time to do stuff like this. Why would you want to be inside cooking, really, when you've got that, like literally at your doorstep? It's absolutely bonkers.
Spring is in the air, like a drum snare. Buds are bursting, beautiful green. It's like a love scene with waves of flirting.
That's bloody next level. Far out. We're about 1,000 meters up from sea level, and yeah, holy moly. I'm woefully underprepared. I'm wearing the wrong shoes, wearing the wrong clothes, but hey.
Maybe it's just me and mine, where thunder has had its way, when kindness is portrayed as blind and glitter to the rays. Oh, no need to beg pardon.
It's so grand, it is almost uncomfortable.
Strong piano playing, wind chimes swaying. I'm longing for summer nights down by the ocean,
that is how you do a tunnel.
Oh, seasons change us. Maybe it's just me and mine, where thunder has had its way. When kindness is portrayed.
From the places I visit, I'm now starting to heap them into two camps. There's places with balance and there's places that focus on food. Norway fits into the former, focusing on balance. But that's not to say that the food isn't incredible, but more to say that the food here is hearty and sustaining and enough just to make you have a good amount of energy to tackle everything else that Norway has to offer. Or at least that's just the first impression, because the other impression I get is that there's a whole lot hidden that I don't know about. I can't really name any Norwegian delicacies and I didn't really encounter any, but I know that you can eat things like reindeer. So Norway, I am going to come again and I'm going to dive a lot deeper. Until next time.
Oh, no.
Right, so there's no shower at the cabin I'm staying at. And this water, honestly, I know it's going to be cold, but it's just too good to pass up. It's cold. It's not that cold. It's not that cold. It's not that bad. Alright. Cut.